Hello, I'm Simon Sporter, and welcome to today's edition of our videos, the Tennis Volunteer Community videos. Today we have Katie Cross with us. She's come to talk to us about Pledgeball and 2024 initiative and everything Pledgeball. So welcome back, Katie, for another year.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
It's great to have you with us, and I'm pleased to say that last year, 2023, was the first time that Pledgeball had launched into tennis. And as a result of that, we now have winners with us. So this year, we have with us Carolyn from Sutton Churches Tennis Club. Welcome, Carolyn.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
And then we have Jill and Joe from Ilminster Tennis Club. So welcome as well to our session.
Thank you very much.
So what we're going to do today is Katie is going to talk about Pledgeball with me for a few minutes, and then if it's okay, we're going to ask each of you to talk about your experience, what you got out of Pledgeball and how it helped your club and also helped all of your members to learn a little bit more about sustainability in general and to get more people to jump on board. So Katie, maybe we can kick off by you just introducing what is Pledgeball for those of us who don't know what it is.
Of course, thank you very much. And it's amazing to see the winners. I would love to hear your league table predictions for this season. So Pledgeball is a charity started by sports fans, and its entire aim is to essentially rally the sports community to take a stand, to drive action, to protect where we play, so to address climate change and sustainability. We know that we can see the world around us changing now. Climate change is not any longer something that happens to other people. You know, the US Open last year, when Medvedev was playing in temperatures of 33 degrees, he was famously quoted as saying someone is going to die. What people don't do is act upon the concern. And what Pledgeball does is encourage people to come together, because together it doesn't require all of us taking action. It requires just a small proportion of us simply adopting a new social norm. And then we trigger a shift that ripples out into, you know, system change as well. So those organizations, those businesses, they all also prioritize climate change because they're clear that we want this to be prioritized. Now, that's all the kind of serious stuff. So the Pledgeball leagues, which run within the LTA again for the second year, are simply a way of the clubs, the venues competing against each other. And it's very, very simple to do. All you need to do is go to pledgeball.org/LTA, find your venue, click on it, and make one or a number of pro-environmental pledges in support of that venue. And you can see the collective impact of that venue acting all together. You will then be stood in the Pledgeball League table, which refreshes monthly, with that venue that's at the top of the league table at the end of that month, winning £500 towards a sustainability initiative. And then it refreshes for the following month. And this is running for the 4 months, June until the end of September. Not only that, but everybody who makes a pledge through these months also gets entered into the draw to win tickets to an LTA event in 2025.
Right. So Katie, going back a stage for a moment, if we may, why Pledgeball and the LTA? Why did you come together in a partnership for our new audience as well?
Do you know, I wish I had a really fun story for this. I have to think one up. I can't actually remember how I first. I think actually the amazing head of sustainability at Wimbledon introduced us. So I met her and she introduced me to the LTA. The LTA have obviously made quite a lot of strides in terms of addressing sustainability as an organisation. And they asked us what we could do around bringing the community together as well, alongside this, and inviting them to join their journey around addressing sustainability. And of course, what has come as a result of this is a whole load of people already within the tennis community who are already going out of their way to address sustainability. So, for example, we've been speaking with Redland Green Tennis Club in Bristol, who, as a result of the LTA leagues last year, oh, sorry, the cat.
I told you it was authentic.
As a result of that, they came forward to ask us to tell to tell us about all the incredible things they were already doing. And this is not alone. We've had plenty of people across the tennis community reaching out, asking amazing questions and telling us what they're doing. So there's clearly a real fervour to drive this from the tennis community.
Okay, so if we now talk about a club, and then we'll have our real examples in a moment. What does a club need to do? They sign up, and then what are these pledges? Can you give a couple of very simple examples of pledges? Because I know that people love to get involved in this type of thing, but they want it to be easy. They don't want it to become a burden, and they want to be able to describe it to other members of their club to once again sort of jump on board without saying, oh, not another initiative that I've got to work on.
Yeah, exactly. I just say it's a fantastic way of winning some money and some tickets. End of story. No, it's really simple. There's no sign up process either. So you literally go to pledgeball.org/LTA. The venues are listed on there, and in fact, venues can actually upload their own logo. So you can personalize it. So please do go on there, click edit event, and the secretary of that venue will receive an email to allow you to upload your own logo onto there. That person clicks on pledge, and it brings up this selection of pledges that you can choose from. And these range from things like switching to use a reusable water bottle, to eating plant-based, to, you know, there are tennis specific ones, to car sharing to the venue or cycling to a tennis venue. You can select whatever you wish. And from there, it tells you the impact that you will have by doing this. So the quantity of emissions you'll save over the course of the year by making that switch. That then, when you submit that, and it's just simply a matter of inputting your email address, it then gets tallied alongside fellow venue members, and it tells you the cumulative amount of emissions you've pledged to save. And I mean, the impact of it is really significant. There's an explainer video actually, Simon, which I would definitely recommend linking this to, which gives some nice, really powerful figures around the collective impact of the tennis community.
Okay, so if, for example, I decide I'm not going to drive my car down to the club anymore, which is, say, a mile journey, I'm going to take my bike. I register that I'm going to go 3 times a week by bike, the 1 mile. That will then score points for the club, which would then take it up higher up the league table. So it's as simple as that.
Exactly, simple as that. And not only that, but we'd invite you to get involved more than once. You know, every month a new league table is there. So please do go and pledge in support of your venue for the next month as well to push them up the league table. The league table is based on the number of people pledging. So really it's about spreading the word and inviting more people associated with your venue to make those pledges. And it's also normalized according to the size of the venue. So according to the number of courts, to make sure that it's as fair as possible.
So I would, as an individual, only pledge once, and then another person within the club would pledge something else? Or would I be able to pledge, for example, that I only now use my water bottle and I'm going to cycle to the club?
Exactly. Pledge as much as you want. You personally will only be counted once in a month, but you'll be counted again the next month, and it is based on the number of people. So definitely spread the word. That's what pushes those clubs at the league table. And I don't know how these winning clubs did it last year, but they obviously spread the word very well.
Yes. Amazing. Okay. And just tell me, Katie, before we go to some of our winners, why did you particularly get into this whole thing? I know the basis was you did this in football, first of all, and now obviously tennis is the next thing, but you're passionate about this anyway. You've always been passionate about this whole space and sustainability.
I mean, I haven't always been passionate about it.
You haven't?
So
okay.
No, I mean, I think everybody's journey starts somewhere, doesn't it? And I don't like saying everybody's journey, but I mean, I used to teach, and I'd be very happy to go back to teaching, except that now, so I taught climate change for years as well, but it was always just something I taught. I never really realized the imminence of it, the impact it was already having, even within this country. I mean, we forget very quickly, but we've had increased floods. The Sport England report came out the other week. So 3 out of 5 people have had to reduce the amount of exercise they do down to extreme weather events. We see flooded pitches. So in football, we've seen numerous games called off throughout the season, and, you know, all the way up to the Women's Super League because of extreme weather events. And these will only become more frequent. We've seen, you know, days when people last summer, and it's hard to remember now because it's quite a chilly June, but last summer when people didn't want to leave the house because it was so hot to walk down the street, let alone go and play tennis. Those things are already happening. The other things that we don't see so clearly are things like the cost of living crisis. Now, there is a direct correlation between extreme weather events and the cost of food, and that will only continue. Our stable food systems are on a knife edge. And when we see flooding, which wipes out fields of crops, that then becomes, you know, it then increases prices. We've seen Spain, who've had to actually import water from outside the country because of the droughts this year, and we import, you know, a lot of produce from Spain. So we're already seeing those impacts. Now, a lot of us see it, and a lot of us bury our heads in the sand because we feel like we can't have an impact as individuals. We're stuck in a system, and what's the point of me taking action? But as I said, science very clearly suggests that there is this inflection point. And from the pressure that we put on from voting with our feet, but also being willing to talk about it with other people, we very quickly see quite radical change. It doesn't take that many people. And so by us simply making visible the fact that we obviously want to protect our green spaces, we want to protect our stable food systems, we want clean air to breathe, when we make that visible, the impacts play out, both to governments, to businesses, to those people that we interact with on a day-to-day basis. And this moves and triggers that social shift. And we've seen these social shifts happen in the past. This is just one that we now need to trigger.
Right. Thank you, Katie. Okay, so now let's have some real examples of how this worked last year. Carolyn, would you like to introduce yourself, tell us a little about your club, and then why did you jump on board in Pledgeball, and how did you get lots of your members to jump on board to make you your winners?
Okay, that's a lot of questions. I'm Carolyn, I'm the club secretary at Sutton Churches Tennis Club. Sutton is in Surrey, so sort of southwest London. We are a small club run by members for members, by a committee of volunteers. We've got 4 clay courts and 3 hard courts, and that's pretty much us. We pride ourselves on our friendly atmosphere and inclusive club sessions, I would say. So why we jumped on board, I think because it was there. It was easy to do, I think, as Kate has explained, just ticking off. I mean, I ticked off, I would descale my kettle and go vegetarian or vegan once a week or something, and that was easy to do. I think the element of competition with sustainability, those attracted different groups of members, I think. And how we put the word out was an email to everybody. We've got a few large WhatsApp groups for the different areas of the club. So, and then a WhatsApp reminder, which is what we've done this time. And I think we're already at the top of the league.
Amazing.
It is nodding. So I think I think it's just being active really, and the active WhatsApp groups. And I think once we got engaged with Pledgeball and the LTA talking about it last year, we were linking to Facebook and retweeting, and just keeping that relationship going really.
Okay. And would you say, was it young people who really got behind this? Was it families, or was it the dedicated across the board members who just said, yes, we'll jump on board and help?
I'm assuming it was everybody, given our success rate, but there's no way of knowing. We can't know who subscribed to it.
Right. Okay. So you didn't. So you weren't talking within the club and saying, you know, I've jumped on board. I'm helping this.
Yeah, to a certain extent, and also sort of talking to the committee. As a committee, we need to make sure we've all done this. And I think between those of us that took an active interest in it would have been speaking to others for sure.
Yes.
Yeah, but what's come out of it, I think, is discovering the LTA Sustainability Action Plan.
Yes.
And that's been really good for us to tick off what we're already doing. So there's a lot we're doing around planting and flowers and water and turning off lights and having PIR lights. There's things that we've got in place, and then things that have come out of that, like we did the RSPB Birdwatch this year. We've built a bug house. We're looking at LED lights. So there's lots, so many ideas on there that have just got us really thinking and talking. So I'm waffling on now, I'll continue. So we have a standing item.
I like it, it's good, because this is the progress that one initiative has created.
It really has, And on our committee agenda each month now, we have a sustainability projects heading. So we've appointed a we had a volunteer to be our sustainability lead. So we now have a sustainability lead to sort of look into different initiatives for and with us.
I can tell Katie loves what she's hearing here.
Good.
Okay, thanks, Carolyn. So Gillian and Joe, who wants to go first? You're both from the same club. You can share sort of similar questions, a little bit about the club, and then how did you find it easy? Who got involved, and why are you doing it again?
Well, to start with, we haven't started again, so that's high on our priority list going forward. Sorry, what was the first? We are a club in Ilminster in Somerset. We're not too far from, in the West Country, far from the coastline of Lyme Regis, Charmouth, and that lovely area around there. We have 2 hard courts. We are part of Ilminster Bowling and Tennis Club, which also includes outdoor bowls, indoor bowls, and snooker. We have about 110 members, adult members, and 25 junior members. When the Pledgeball initiative came out, we read it and thought, oh, this looks interesting, and went into it more and put it towards the committee, decided it was the way that we would like to go. And we didn't have a sustainability plan at the time, so this would prompt us to make sure that we implement one of these. And as with Caroline, we emailed it out to all our members and sent reminders. They all seemed to come on board. We were amazed when we saw we were top of the league. And then I think that's when the competitiveness came in, and every week we're still number 1, you know. And I don't know why, but from not having really looked around our grounds, we started to look around and say, right, what else can we do? And we were already recycling our tennis balls via a local pet shop. We sell them to the pet shop, and I don't know what they charge, but they sell them on and are always eager to have more. We'd donated our windbreaks to an allotment society. We already had solar panels. We had a massive tidy up of our pavilion and found all these plastics hiding in drawers and different things, and decided ways to remove those. We now have our rubbish in separate bins. We also we have one dedicated car driver for away matches, and then that car driver is remunerated for their mileage. We have push-on lights in the toilets so that when you go in, you push the light on. We know that it will never be left on, you know, it will go off on a timer. So that was what we were mindful of, what we were already doing. And we suddenly thought, well, actually, we're doing quite well with these ideas. And now looking ahead, we were also going for LED lights. We had a tennis net that split along the top the other day, and luckily already had another new one. But instead of putting it away where it wouldn't be seen for a while, we decided to take it to a local net company in Bridport, and they've kindly restitched it for us. It looks brand new, and they didn't even charge us. So it was just, you know, we would never have asked before. It would have been put in a box. We're now looking to make our tennis balls last even longer for tennis social play. And one of our members has copied an initiative which is going really well, where he's bought a keg and a car pump. I'm not sure how he does it, but he repressurizes the tennis balls. And although in the early stages, it's working really well. And I'm really impressed and think patent it and everything. But yeah, so we're hoping in the winter months, especially if we have these horrible wet mornings again and evenings and afternoons when you're playing tennis and the balls don't last so long, that by having this store of repressurized ones, we can save on money and also, you know, prolong the life of the balls. Is that enough?
That's all really good. Anything to add, Joe?
We've also put in some cycle sort of stands now, which, because I use my electric bike to get into the tennis club, I couldn't do it on an ordinary bike, although it's only 5 miles away. It's up and down the hills. So we've put those in as well, haven't we, Jill? Which is good, making it easier for
Yes.
people to. And quite a few of the members do actually cycle for the social sessions, which is really good. Yeah, that was one other thing I was thinking that we've been encouraging people to get there, really. Yeah.
And Joe had the experience of going to Roehampton and Wimbledon as well.
Right.
Which
Okay, what was that? Was that a reward for having done so well in 2023?
Absolutely, it was a reward, and it was a absolutely fantastic day. We were so well looked after, and we did meet a couple of other clubs as well that had won or runners up, and so we did share a few of the ideas. You know, like the lights thing, making sure that they went off. You know, they just came on for short periods and things like that for walking through. You know, it was quite interesting. And when we went to Wimbledon, we met the person in charge of all the sustainability, and you know, they are just looking at it so seriously. It was really impressive, and the new facilities across the road, you know, they tried everything to make it sustainable, use lots of sort of reusable products and things like this. So it was quite impressive, really, you know, how serious they were taking it as well. And it sort of reinforced everything, you know, you're saying that everybody else can do, really.
Right. Thank you very much. Katie, inspiring winners. I'm sure you'd agree with me on that one. Anything you'd like to add, Katie, before we close today? And obviously, we'll put the links up so everybody can see how to sign up for 2024.
I mean, I'm completely gobsmacked. I honestly am blown away by the things that you said. I just think, so there's a big thing called pluralistic ignorance, where we all assume that nobody else cares as much of us as us, and that therefore we're isolated and have to take it all on ourselves. But clearly there is so much, you know, back to what I said before, so much activity already taking place and so much desire that together we can really drive really quite rapid change. I think the only thing I'd say is, you know, please don't undervalue yourself as ambassadors, because, you know, it's really from within communities, when they share it with other communities, as you did at Wimbledon, that this movement really drives, it really grows. So thank you for everything you've done, and please carry on sharing it.
Thank you so much, all of you. Katie, thank you so much for coming back again. And I'm sure 2024 will be even more successful for Pledgeball, and more importantly, for making a difference in our country and countries. So thank you once again.
Thank you, Simon.